KFUG Community Radio. Hey, good morning to you. It is 6 minutes past 10. Just Paul with you. Time now for community service. We've got a lot of things happening today. Sarah Carone from the Crescent City Del Norte Chamber of Commerce is coming in. Catching up with her, one of her last visits before she goes about her business after the 4th of July. And then later on, we'll be wrapping up the week with Jason the Fall Guy Fallman, of course, Lynn Zabo from Redwood Urgent Care and Health Matters. But to start everything off, joined live in the studio this morning, Kim Fowler, CEO/fair manager.
Yes, Kim Floyd.
Did I get that wrong? Why did I write Fowler? I knew, and I was going, you
It's
should
okay.
ask her. Okay, Kim Floyd. So let's talk about Kim Fowler. She's not here. No, let me get you right up on this microphone here. Kim Floyd. So first off, all kinds of things going on, but I guess I never realized that this is a family tradition, what you do.
Yes, it is.
How'd that happen?
Randy Hatfield's my dad, and we started off at Kitsap County Fair in Washington and moved here when I was 15. And so he was a fair manager for 29 fairs and then retired. And when he retired, I took over.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I've been in the fair industry since I was 2 or 3.
And this was a conscious that you grow up thinking, I'm going to do this too?
Maybe when I was younger, but no, life takes turns. I became a wife and mom, and that was my passion, photographer like you, for a really long time. And I also worked at the school district for 12 years, and I was a coach. So I had 5 jobs at one time, point in time, and one of them I just happened to come in and start helping out in the office and became their events coordinator. And it just kind of progressed from that. It was when I started, it was just to help out because they were shorthanded in the office, and never at that time had I even entertained the thought of taking over. And it ended up happening, and it's been a lot of fun. I love my job. It's just kind of natural.
We were talking before we went on about how, a lot of folks experience the fairgrounds just through the context of the fair. But you were saying, there's stuff happening there year round. Just take us through kind of what your job is. What do you do at the fairgrounds and with the fair? And does this have anything to do with the agricultural district?
There's a lot of agriculture that goes on. The fairgrounds, and that's, we passed the Measure F back in 2014, and the fairgrounds, it has multiple events. So it's a year round. We have Java Hut on our fairgrounds. We have Red Rover. We also have Bicoastal Media Radio Tower, and then we also have Verizon Tower. So those are some of the things that we have going on. And then we also have the Grange and 4-H do horse events year round, and it's a great place to rent the buildings for quinceañeras and weddings and meetings and all sorts of stuff. We also have the tennis that is a huge hit. So, and we also have storage for RV rentals. So we have something going on all the time. And like what we were talking before earlier, was the fairgrounds all around the United States, and especially in California, they have become a staging center for the emergency services for the fires and the floods and things like that. So the fairgrounds all around the United States are super important. And I think a lot of people, they think of just the fair and forget about all the other things that go on. It's super important. We also have the farmers market there. The school bus uses our parking lot to train their bus drivers. So there's all sorts of different things.
Yeah, see, I drive by, I almost think of like the fairgrounds as like this like community multi-purpose room, and it is.
It really is.
But I never put together the fact that somebody has to manage all of the things that I see happening.
Yeah, we have Little League rents the buildings because, with our lovely weather, they can't go out and practice, so they are able to utilize the main exhibit hall, and we have a lot going on all the time, and so it's a year-round job, and so if we're not in training and learning new ideas and events, and preparing for fair, because that is a year-round preparation. We're renting the buildings and doing upkeep and maintenance and trying to figure out new ideas. So
now a fair is August 1st, and so I imagine you have got to be 99% of the way there, right? Is everything lined up?
We're
or?
about 90%
90,
there.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we have a few little things that we have to do. The kids are starting to weigh their animals in for the livestock. So we had our large animal weigh in on Wednesday, and they'll finish up tomorrow. And then small animal weigh-ins is at the end of the month. So the kids are preparing. We are getting the buildings and the grounds ready, and then also getting the rest of our little acts and things like that. We have our major acts. So yeah. So yes, who
is it again? I forget.
We have Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray. So he's going to come in and he's going to do the whole 90s experience. So it'll be a lot of fun. And he's on Friday night. On Thursday night, we have a Christian country entertainer. His name is Cafe Anderson. He was on the Nashville Star. He was a contestant on there and on American Idol. So he's really popular. He's also on social media, YouTube, Instagram, and he's very popular on there too. So he will be a good show. Saturday night, the rodeo is changed up a little bit. So this year we have Challenge of the Champions bull riding and barrel racing.
Okay.
So you will get the calf scramble, you will get the flags, you will get the mutton busting, but you are going to get full on bull riding this year.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. And plus the local barrel racers will come in and compete. And then the top 6 in each division will be able to come in and ride in the main show. So it'll be a lot of fun. And then of course on Sunday we have the Demolition Derby and
big.
Tough Truck, which is a huge draw. So yeah.
Now I want to point out too, you can't see it on the radio, but she said all of that didn't look at a piece of paper or anything. That just came off the top of your head. So
yes.
Part of the CEO/fair manager, that's what you have to do.
You got to juggle it.
And so events, you say it's happening year round. You've got big stuff going on tomorrow as we kind of get into summer. And one thing that we didn't mention, I didn't put on my list for all the things happening, but first farmers market, right?
Yeah, we have the first farmers market of the year. So tomorrow kicks off summer.
This is going to be a big day.
It really does.
Sit back and listen to Kim. What's happening?
It is crazy. We are juggling, trying to make sure we have plenty of parking for everything. First off, you have the very first farmers market of the year, which that is always super busy and exciting to go to. And then at 10 o'clock, we have our 4th annual home show. And that's from 10 to 5 in the main exhibit building. We have over 40 vendors. We have a lot of new vendors this year, plus the ones that everybody know and love, like Frank's Refrigeration and Heating, Renner Petroleum, Hambros, Suburban Propane. We have JS Appraisals is new this year. We have the Garden Club and Master Gardeners. So we'll have a lot of really neat things. We're giving away a 1-person kayak. I accidentally wrote one-man kayak, and I was corrected on that.
One person.
Girls like to kayak too, so I apologize for that. And the first 1,000 people through the gates will get a free ticket to get into that drawing. Almost all the businesses are either doing a raffle or giving something away. The Lions Club from Grants Pass will be here, and they are, you can buy tickets to win a Harley.
Oh, wow.
So we've got some really, really good stuff. We will also have the Elks will have a dunking booth this year. So that's new, and that's a lot of fun.
Oh, no.
I know. So
who's going to be dunked?
The Elks guys are.
The Elks
not
guys.
me.
Yeah, like you've got time for that tomorrow, right?
So, and then at 1 o'clock is something really cool. This is our 3rd beer fest. This year, we have 10 breweries coming.
Whoa.
So it's really, really huge. We've moved it into the JC's Beer Garden and the Floral Building. We have a old Western theme, and we have Whitney and a couple board directors and JC's working on that, and they have done an amazing job. Whitney's got 10 breweries, so we have, let me see if I can list them.
Wow,
I don't know.
This is impressive.
So we have our local favorites. We have Seaquake and Porter Pints. We have Chetco Brewing, Misty Mountain, Wild River, Arch Rock, 2 towns, Firestone, Lost Coast, and 6 Rivers.
Wow,
I got it.
nice.
Yay.
Very nicely done.
So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do that.
I was keeping hash marks here counting. Yeah, you got them. Wow.
So we will also, Whitney has set up cornhole, washer boards. You can rope a cow head. She'll have that all there. We have live music, and so there'll be areas for dancing as well. It's $20 souvenir glass with 4 tastings. You can also purchase extra tastings, or if you really like a certain beer, you can purchase a beer. And there's going to be lots of really cool raffles. And the proceeds for that is for something super cool that Whitney is creating at the fairgrounds this year. And what it is a sensory room that we're going to have in the Home Arts building. And what a sensory room is for kids. They could be with special needs. They could be adults with PTSD. And sometimes going to the fair and large events, sounds
can be
and lights can be a little overwhelming. So this is just a quiet room where they can go and just relax and sit on a beanbag, play with some puzzles, read some books, and just have a little bit of quiet time and regroup their thoughts before they go out and play again.
That's really thoughtful.
And
That's
so
really cool.
One of the other things that we've done, we've taken it a step further, is we are going to have sensory bags that parents can check out. In the sensory bags, they will have headphones, little squishy balls, memory or emotion cards. So if you have a nonverbal child, they can point to the emotion on there. So that'll help the parents or volunteers to help and know when the kids are getting overexcited. So they can check those out by just handing us their driver's license. They take the bag for the day and then bring it back, and we give them their driver's license back. So
whose idea was this?
We actually Whitney she's the 3rd generation.
Oh, no, seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, no.
So, she's my daughter. We went to a convention, her and I and a board director, and we sat in on a class, and it was just absolutely amazing. And some of the bigger events, coliseums and larger fairs are doing this. And she said, I want to do this at our fairgrounds. And we had a room that was not being used for anything other than storage. I said, let's do it in here. And between Kim Haben, our board director, and Whitney and the fair staff, they have made this come together. The maintenance have done a beautiful job on painting and helping with all of this. Whitney has also partnered with Coastal Connections, First 5 Family Resource Center, and I think there might be a couple other ones who are donating some of the supplies for the sensory bags and some of the supplies for the room. So it's really cool. Follow Whitney on Facebook. She's got photos on there, and it's pretty awesome. I'll put it on our Facebook page as well of what a sensory room looks like. So that is 1 to 6 tomorrow, the Beer Fest.
The Beer Fest, raising funds for the sensory room.
The proceeds go to that. And then to finish the day off tomorrow, we have the 4x4 competition and mud drag event.
Oh, wow.
And it is super popular. Last year we had 12 trucks pre-enter. I'm like, okay, well, we can make a show with it. We'll just have to stretch it a little bit. And the day of, we had 51 trucks show up.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was like crazy.
Last minute registration, people coming in. Oh my gosh.
These guys, we have Tristan and Tresson Smith, along with L&L Construction, H&H Fabrication, and a few other of their friends. And these kids put on a phenomenal show.
What do they do? What kinds of things?
They have this track right now that is just, it's crazy. I start to have anxiety every time they build these tracks, because I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, we're, we have K-rail this year, so for safety purposes, but they have mud drags on each lane, so 2 trucks will compete to go through, and whoever wins the heat advances to the next. It's a double elimination.
Okay.
So that's the mud drag portion. The 4x4 is a timed event, and they go through this obstacle course of rocks and logs and pits, and
wow.
So these kids break their trucks and they go in, and for the 4x4 competition, H&H Fabrication, along with a couple other companies, are giving $1,000 to the winner.
Whoa.
Which they'll need it, because probably somebody will break their truck, so it'll be good. So, and then the other one is jackpot event. So everybody can come and watch it. It's $10 for adults and $5 for kids 4 to 12, and then 3 and under are free. We will have crowd giveaways as well. So we have lots of giveaways and all sorts of fun stuff. We'll have a lot of really good food. Job's Daughters will be there all day for Doughboys. Bandon's Best Kettle Corn, they will have tons of food. And so it's going to be an all-day event. Bring extra clothes in case it gets a little cool in the evening. And we also, new this year with the 4x4 competition and mud drag event, we have a hillbilly foot race.
You mentioned that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So that's free to enter. So all you have to pay is your admission to the mud drags, which is $10 for adults. 18 and over will have the opportunity to race through the mud pits, and the first one to get through will win $100, sponsored by Talon's Tires.
So is it going to be like a group sort of thing? It's not a timed thing, right?
No,
Just get
it's
everybody
a group.
in there
So
and boom.
whoever wants to do it, they will run through the pit. So it's 18 and over, so we don't trample little kids or anything like that. And just in case there's a car part out there, they'll have to sign a waiver.
Okay.
And we'll
step on somebody's transmission, right?
Yeah. We'll clean the pits out.
Okay, all right.
So, but
wow.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, last year the pits got pretty deep, so it should be pretty entertaining. So
times for the mud drag. When does that start?
6 to whenever it gets
6 to
over.
whenever. Wow.
Yeah, last year I think it got over about 9:30, 10.
Okay, so just tomorrow, it almost sounds like a one-day fair you're putting on.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Actually.
I mean,
yeah,
whole place is being utilized. Everybody's
And we also have livestock weigh-ins from 11 to 1, so we will have little critters going on. And I'd like to also point out, Helen Ferguson has helped. She's amazing. She's the Grange leader, and she is helping coordinate the horse show. It's the Fair Horse Show, and that is Sunday, and it starts at I believe 9:00 in the morning, and that goes on all day long. If you want to come down and watch these girls compete, it's 4-H, FFA, Grange, Independence. They also are competing for rodeo court as well. Okay. So, and that's in the horse arena that is by the Ace building. So, and that's on Sunday.
That's the day after tomorrow.
That's the day after.
Wow.
So we have a lot going on.
So what time of year do you take off? Do you?
I don't.
You don't? Yeah.
I don't.
Okay. All right. You're not like the second week in August. You're like, don't call me.
I will this year because I do have another fair that I'm going to go help out at in Washington. So I will be doing that the third week of August.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then my husband and I we are avid hunters, so we take about a week off to go do that. But I don't really take the time off because I always have 2 phones and my laptop with me. So always, last year I was in a meeting on top of a mountain in Wyoming. So,
there are worse places to have meetings.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. It was fun. So, I love my job.
So all of this we haven't even gotten to the topic why you're in here today.
No, we haven't.
So let's just, long story short, if you don't have anything to do tomorrow, that's your problem. Go down to the fairgrounds. There's plenty to do. Let's recap all of that. We have the home show, and you said it was from 9 to 5?
10 to 5.
10 to 5, that's right, because
Yeah.
it's the, okay, let's start.
Farmers market
Is 9 to 1, right?
9 to 1.
Okay, 9 to 1, that's happening. First farmers market of the summer. And it gets going for an hour, and then concurrently in the main building, right? There's the home show with all the vendors that you talk about. That's from 10 to 5. That's going to be that's a full parking lot.
Yes, it is.
And
And
then-
we'll have the carnival grounds open for parking
Okay,
as well.
okay. I didn't know if you'd make people go to the back
we'll
lot or
spill it over.
Good,
Yeah.
good, smart. Because this, yeah, you're going to have
Yep.
it's a full house. And then the beer fest with 10 breweries and all local, local from where they are. It's not, you don't have big corporate beers coming in.
No.
You've got
They're
people
all
like,
local craft beers.
that's amazing. That's great.
So,
that's from 1 to 6.
Yes.
And that is that will be in the beer gardens, which is right back between the
right next to the carnival grounds.
what's the carnival grounds, but what's that first? I know the
floral building.
Is that the floral building?
Yeah.
I thought the floral. No, that's the arts and craft building.
Yeah.
Is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, right there next to the carnival grounds, between the carnival grounds and the floral building. You know where the beer garden is every year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All kinds of things
we
going on.
forgot
Yes.
to mention.
Oh no.
I know. We will have bounce houses for the kids all day long. So for $5, the kids can bounce from 10 to
get an
6.
all-day pass for $5?
All-day pass for $5.
I would do it for $5.
I know, and we have a 60-foot dragon. The kids just loved it last year, so we
wow.
brought it back this year. Plus, we have 4 other bounce houses. So yeah.
Oh man!
Yeah,
All right, so
there's something for everybody.
and if you have a little one and you want to burn off a day's worth of energy for $5, that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
There'll
Oh
be
my gosh.
face painting, and I believe she's doing face painting for $1. There will also be balloon artists, and so there's going to be lots of things for the little kids to do too. So tomorrow's event is for everybody of all ages.
Mhm. Sounds like. I mean, starting
Yeah.
with the farmers market, the home show, the beer fest, and then the mud drag.
Yes.
Which goes from 6 until whenever.
Yes.
And that's $10 to get in to do that. But, for that price, you not only get a whole bunch of excitement and drama, but you can take part in the hillbilly foot race.
Yes. And win $100.
And win $100. I forgot that part. Exactly. Because, dry cleaning bill. I don't know.
Yeah.
So all of that tomorrow, then the and what is the actual title for the Sunday event, the horse show?
It's the Del Norte County Fair Horse Show.
Okay, there you go.
The reason why it's at that time is because the state horse show is in July.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we had it the week before fair, the kids had to wait a full year before they could participate in the state show.
Okay.
So a couple years ago, we decided to move it up so that the kids that qualify for state can go from here to the state show.
Smart.
So that's why it's the first week in June, which makes it a lot easier on the staff when we're preparing for fair as well.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So tell us about the day on the farm.
Okay, so the day on the farm, I want to say this is our 6th year doing it.
That's okay.
And we
are.
it's kind of a quiet event because of the fact that it's geared to a certain group in our community. And so what we do is we have partnered with FFA and the Sunset kids out there, and we invite all the special needs kids in Del Norte County to come and have a hands-on experience with baby animals.
Oh, wow.
And so it is we started it 6 years ago, and it was Robin Parker and I. She was the FFA advisor. She has now moved to Sunset, and we have Jessica Phillips, and we also have Jessica Chamberlain, who is also she's the new FFA advisor. And so they corral all their animals up from their kiddos. And we've had in the past 9 to 10 stations. I believe this year we're going to have more like 17 stations.
What's a station like? What do you find there?
So what they do is the kids show up and they get a Day on the Farm t-shirt. We have them color coordinated by classes so that each teacher will not lose their children. They're not all going to be in blue t-shirts. They're each color coordinated. So it's easier for the teachers and the IAs to keep track of them. So once they do that, they go into the barns and they can have a hands-on experience with baby cows, ducks, chickens, guinea pigs, rabbits. They'll have a worm farm experience this year. They can make ice cream. They can make butter and sample all of these things. Cheese, Rumiano cheese donates the cheese to that. Oh my gosh, they can plant a plant. One of their absolute favorite things to do is they get to ride horse. And so Crescent Trail Rides donates 3 horses, 2 to ride and 1 a small pony for them to pet and brush and things like that. So they get to do that. They get to play games. They can ride around barrels with a stick horse. And in the past, we've allowed them to have an opportunity to show an animal. So we teach them how to do that as well.
Wow.
So it is such a cool experience. We have, it's just neat. It's, we have had kids in the past who, were very quiet and didn't say much at school. And this is an opportunity to just kind of give him an opportunity to open up and actually speak. We had a little guy who was tugging on my shirt. I want to show. And I was like, okay, hold on. So I turned over to look over to see if it was okay to allow him to show the lamb or whatever it was. And the teacher and the parent are over there crying. And I was like, okay, is everything okay? And they say, he does not talk. He does not socialize. We've never seen him be this engaged and excited.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
And so, we were all crying. We were just, that's what this is all about. This gives these kids an opportunity that some of them don't even have a goldfish at home or have the opportunity to understand and learn. And this is a day for them. They get to come out and this is all for them.
Wow.
And it's such a special day.
That sounds like a remarkable day. Okay, so somebody, if you're a parent or an IA, if you're taking care of somebody of a kid with special needs like that, a lot of times you sort of get, I know this from talking to people who have children, you kind of get locked into a routine, and because it's safe, you want to keep your child's experience kind of safe and copacetic. You don't want to freak anybody out. You don't want to step out of these things. But here's a day in a controlled sort of environment with a bunch of people who care, where they can do that and sort of challenge themselves and open themselves up to new experience. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and one nice thing is all the IAs and the teachers that are there, they're all fully trained. That was actually my field when I worked at the school district. I was a special needs teacher's assistant.
Okay.
So I completely understand. I have little guys who have graduated out of the program and they still come into the office once in a while and ask me about it. So it's really cool. Wow. So it's just a special event. This year we have, I believe every school is participating. We have over 200 kids that will be participating this year.
Is this for just the field trips, or is this for open to the public as well?
It's field trips.
Just the field trips.
It's just the field trips. So what we're really looking for is sponsorship for this event. It what we do is we provide the kids with a healthy snack, all the little supplies for making the butter and the ice cream, the t-shirts. This year we'd like to add cowboy hats to it as well. So those things kind of cost some money,
sure.
Typically around $2,000 to make sure that everybody goes home with something.
That's a pretty small, that's not a lot of money for covering the needs of those kids like that. That's great.
It goes a long ways.
Yeah.
We make coloring books for them, and they all go home with coloring books, a box of crayons, their potted plant that they make and their t-shirt and lots of smiles. So
wow, that's beautiful. So are you still actively looking for sponsorships then for Cover This? If somebody out there, a business or an individual wants to sponsor, what's the best way to get a hold of you and to start that process?
464-9556.
9556.
Yes.
Is that the fair office?
Yes, fair office.
Call them and say you want to sponsor the Day on the Farm.
Yes.
All right. Wow, that's okay.
And
so
I invite you to come and
I would love to
come and see it. Come and participate. It's volunteer.
What's the day
starts at
again?
9:30 on Thursday.
Thursday, which is what, the 5th?
6th.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And it's only a couple hours long.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, because everybody comes through.
It's a short day for them. When it's longer, it's just too much.
I would love to come out there and see what that's like.
Please
actually,
do.
that would be one. It'd be fun to put together a segment about and talk to the folks out there. That's great. So Thursday, that's the 6th of June. 9:30, and so I suppose if you have a special needs kid and you and in school, this has already been lined up, right?
Yep.
So it's all takes as far as you're not looking for other participants, it's already coming from
but I know if there are any that are homeschooled and we happen to miss them, please give us a call because we would love to have your child participate.
That's a wonderful thing. That's great. Yeah. So what if, say, you run a radio station and you're an adult and you want to come do these things? Because that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm more interested in that than Beer Fest. That's where I want to go. I want to go plant and color and pet things and learn.
It's a lot of fun.
That sounds like a great day. And yeah, I do want to cover that. I want to come out and check that out. So again, looking for sponsorships, sponsors to help defray the cost because of the things, the kits that you give the kids, the things that they're able to take separate from just the experience of it, able to take home with them to keep that alive. If you are interested in helping defray some of that cost, whether as a business or, I suppose individuals are also welcome.
Absolutely.
Give the fair office a call, 464-9556, and say, I want to help out with the Day on the Farm. That's a lot of fun. The Day on the Farm and the room, the sensory room, the sensory overload. Is this a new focus for you? Sort of. I mean, you said you come from a background of working with kids with special needs.
Well,
but
the Day on the Farm, this is our 6th year.
Sure. So, but it's been like this. It's been this sort of.
Yeah, it's been like this. I will give you an example at the circus. Just a couple weeks ago,
the Merriweather.
We had a grandfather who brought his little grandson, and to the circus, and it was too loud for him. And it's not that it is not even just for special needs kids. My kids had hearing issues as well. And I remember when our daughter got tubes in her ears for the first time, it was just like it freaked her out. Little things that you and I take for granted, that it's turning on the water faucet.
I did that
was too loud
when I was 4 years old. Tubes in the ears, and all of a sudden I could hear everything.
And she started crying. We flushed the toilet, and she was like, "We're like, oh my gosh, this is just a simple everyday thing that you do 10 times a day." It was overwhelming. So these are opportunities for these kids to have a way to go and interact and be calm. So anyway, this grandfather came and he had his grandson, and the grandson was crying because the circus music was too loud. I was running to my office because we didn't have the sensory bags done yet, and I'm trying to find cotton balls that the grandfather could put in the grandson's ears just so they could stay and enjoy the day. The poor grandfather, he looked, kind of beside himself because he was so excited to bring his grandson. They were going to have a special moment, and it wasn't going quite. We did help, and we were able to get it so they could have the great experience that they wanted to have. But that's what this is all about, is to make it so everybody can come and enjoy the events at the fair.
That's an amazing
fairgrounds.
Not just the fair, the fairgrounds. I think that just to have that goal is to be a more inclusive locale, as well as the specific events to get folks in there and to get the kids. I think that's a laudable thing. That's really, really cool. Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
When I'm at the fair this year and I'm walking around and I'm eating, I get one of those sausages, the Louisiana hot links and all that, and the fries, the curly fries that are like the size of a human head. When I'm walking around and doing that, I will do everything I can to remind myself and my wife, who will probably be with me, that whatever experience we're having and the bright lights and the sensory thing like that, but I'm sure everybody realizes this if you think about it, there's a lot of work that goes into that.
There's a lot of work.
Oh, and the whole rest of the year. So while you're out having a good time and riding rides and looking at animals and things, remember that. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
We have amazing staff.
How many people?
We have 3 part-time office staff. I'm full-time.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 full-time maintenance staff, and we have a couple part-time people, and that's it.
That's it?
That is it. And
Wow.
the rest is all volunteers that absolutely love the fair.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 fair boards. We have the 41st District Fair Board that is 7 people. Our president this year is Rich Taylor. Our vice president is Matt Westbrook. Then we have Kim Haben, John Pritchett from Del Norte Ambulance, Kara Miller, Vanessa Alexander, and Darren Bradbury. So that's that board. And then we also have the special district that helps with the Measure F money.
Okay.
And the president this year is Stephen Westbrook. Vice president is Doug Wakefield. We have Sabina Renner, Robin Holt, and oh my gosh, why did and Rich Weir. There we go. And these people, they're all volunteer positions.
Mm-hmm.
They're volunteer positions, and they're huge sponsors of the fair, and they're always out there donating their time. For instance, I know there's been a lot of talk about the concession stands going down and what's going to be in place of that.
Mm-hmm.
The concession stands were actually supposed to be torn down 20 years ago.
Oh my God, really?
Yep, they were.
And these are the places under the grandstands,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
And the cost to bring them up to code was way, way too much.
Mm-hmm.
So the boards decided to surplus them, take them down, and replace them with RV pads and RV hookups. So the vendors, the concessionaires, will come in with their food trailers instead. And it'll also, at the same time, we can use that for year-round RVs. So it'll be a little extra revenue for the fair year-round.
Will you lose any vendors with that? I mean, will Job's daughters be able to bring
Job's daughters are going to be here for the home show.
Yeah.
I don't believe they're going to be here at fair, but we're still working on trying to find somebody else to replace that, because I know elephant ears are huge.
Yeah.
But with that, we did all of that from in-house and volunteer work, and our board directors, Rich Weir and Doug Wakefield, they were out there helping with the concrete. And these guys, they spend a lot of hours at the fair. So even though we have a small staff, we have board directors that help bring up the rear
and have their whole lives. I mean, these are local folks who've been here. I mean, Vanessa, who grew up at the fair,
she
right?
Did.
I mean,
she grew up with Whitney, and Kim Haben was a 4-H leader, and so was Doug and Sabina and Robin. So all these people, they understand, and they understand the importance of the fairgrounds, not just the fair, but the fairgrounds, and they love it. It's part of their lives too. So when you see them out on the public, tell them thank you, because they work just as hard as the fair staff in keeping the doors open for the community.
Because they understand, no matter how tenuous funding gets in this day and age, things like that the Del Norte County Fair is an integral part of our community here.
It is.
And it wouldn't be the same community if that went away. Yeah.
And one of the things that they have talked about doing is rebranding and renaming the fair. So it'd be Del Norte Fair and Event Center, because it's not just the fair.
That's right.
And and we have been told many times it's the jewel of the community. And it is.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Thank you. I caution against rebranding only because in this community, the Dailies building stays forever the old Dailies building.
Oh, and yes, and I know that. Yeah,
McKay's Market is always McKay's Market.
It'll always be Del Norte Fair.
Yeah, exactly.
So Yeah, you just add events. Center.
An event center to at least drive home the point that there are things happening the whole rest
All
of the year.
long.
Yeah. Kim Floyd, CEO / fair manager, the busiest woman in Delaware County this time of year, it seems like. Wow, thank you for coming in and sharing
You're
all
welcome.
of this.
Thank you for having me. This was a pleasure.
And I will see you on Thursday. I want to come down and do that.
No,
That's great.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I don't know. The hillbilly foot race is sounding awful tempting, actually. I think maybe if I might have to spend a couple hours in the beer fest before. There's a whole day. You can start the whole day, start at the farmer's market, and you end up in the mud.
Show, and then you end up in the mud. That's right.
That's a Delaware County day, right?
Yes, it is.
Kim, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us. Ooh, hey, we talked for a while. It is it's 15 minutes away from 11 o'clock. Back into the music. Coming up in the next hour, be joined live in the studio, Sarah Carone from the Del Norte Crescent City Chamber of Commerce. You're tuned to KFUG Community Radio for Crescent City, Del Norte, and the Fair.